Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this particular video, we'll be looking into another consensus mechanism which is widely used. It is called as proof of stake or PoS. By the end, by the end of this particular video, we'll be getting the answers of all these things. Proof of stake, you will be understanding the concept of validators and staking. Then the block validation process, you will get an end-to-end look out of it. Next, you will be understanding the Ethereum proof of stake examples and advantages and limitations of this particular mechanism. So I hope you all are excited. So without further delay, let's start. So previously we have seen the proof of work concept over here. We have seen that miners solve the complex cryptographic puzzles to create the blocks or to add the block into the blockchain network, right? But there were a lot of problems in it. Very energy consumption was really very high. It was expensive. Okay, it required multiple high quality of hardwares, and the scalability was limited. So to overcome this particular problems, proof of stake came into existence. It is a new consensus mechanism which is designed to solve the POW limitations specifically. It is energy efficient, it is having it doesn't require any expensive hardware, and it is scalable better than the POW. So let's have a look at the core ideology of it. So by the definition, proof of stake is a consensus mechanism where validators are chosen to create new blocks based on the amount of cryptocurrency they stake or lock in the network. Now what does it mean? Instead of relying on the computational power, as in POW we have seen, right? POS relies on the economic stake. So the selection depends on the economic stake. Now let us compare both of them. Okay, so in POW consensus mechanism, more computing power leads to higher chance of mining the block, right? We have seen this. But in POS selection, what happens is more cryptocurrency stake will leads to higher chance of validating the block. This is the basic idea of it. Okay, here the amount of cryptocurrency are on stake, and whichever is highest will get a chance to add the block into the blockchain, like that. Okay, so I hope to some overview level this POS is clear to you all. Now in the definition, if you remember, I have used the word stake. What exactly is the meaning of it? What is staking? We'll see this with the help of an example. Okay, so staking means locking the cryptocurrency in the network to participate in block validation. Okay, so for example, here we have three validators. Validator A has stake of 100 ethers, validator B has a stake of 50 ether, and validator C has a stake of 10 ethers. When I say stake, that means this particular amount of cryptocurrency is locked, okay, for the process of validation. Now how the selection will be happening? The selection probability will be like this. Since out of all of these, validator A has the highest number of stakes, right? 100 ethers are higher than 50 and 10. Yes, so that is why validator A will be having the highest probability of being selected. Okay, like this the work goes on. So this is called as staking. Everyone stakes, whichever is the highest will win. Now there is a security deposit. Staked funds acts as a security. If validators behave maliciously, stake can be slashed or penalized. So yes, there can be a chance that validator who are having the more number of stakes will be selected, obviously. But if they are malicious, then in that case they will be penalized with that particular stake. So I hope this staking concept is clear to you all. Similarly, we have one more concept, that is validators. Validators in proof of stake. Again, in the definition, validators word was there. So this is the usual meaning of it. I'll be going to explain you now. So in POS, the role of miners is replaced by validators. Remember, in the POS, we had miners who were doing the process of mining to solve the cryptographic puzzle to get a hash value which satisfies the conditions. Okay, but here we don't have miners. Here we have validators. Now, how the process goes? See, the validators perform several important tasks. First is that they verify the transactions submitted by the user. Okay. Secondly, they propose new blocks to be added to the blockchain network. Thirdly, validate the blocks created by the other validators. Okay, so they do not only work for their validation purpose, they also validate the blocks which are put forth by the other validators. They also maintain the ledger copy. So blockchain ledger, whatever it is, they maintain it. Now let's talk about the validator reward. Now they get what? They get the transaction fees. Okay, they get the block rewards also depending on the blockchain. So these rewards motivate the validators to participate honestly in the network. So I hope the process of validation which is done by validators is clear to you all. So both the concepts, staking and validators, are really important to understand this POS, and I hope both these concepts are clear to you all. Now, how this proof of stakes actually works. Okay, let's have a look at all the detailed steps. So, there are total 8 steps you can see. The very first step, the transaction. The user sends a transaction. Okay, whenever any particular transaction occurs, the user will send that transaction to the blockchain network. Second step is the transaction broadcast. The transaction is broadcasted to the network. So first user sends the transaction, secondly it is broadcasted to the entire blockchain network. Third step includes the verification by the validators. So whoever are the validators in the blockchain network will verify the transaction whether it is valid or not. In the fourth step, the network selects validator. That means based on the highest stake, whichever validator has the highest stake, that particular validator will be selected for creation of the block. Okay. In the fifth step, the validator will create a block which has to be added in the blockchain. Now, in the sixth step, whatever block was created by the validator, that block will be broadcasted in the blockchain network. In the seventh step, the block which is added to the blockchain network will be confirmed or verified by other validators which are present. Okay, and once it is validated, the block is then added to the blockchain in eighth step. So I hope the process is clear. This is how it goes on in the entire process. So how the consensus is achieved. So by the end of this process, we get the consensus achieved. This process ensures agreement among all the network nodes without requiring massive computational power. Okay, see how drastically it is changed now, the process. Unlike proof of work, this process does not require massive computational power also, and the goal is also achieved. So I hope the entire process of proof of stake is clear to you all. Now, let's have a look at the example of validator selection. So, if you look at this particular thing, in the fourth step, the network selects validator. Now, how it selects the validator? We have seen an example before, but let's have a look at another example to get it clarified a little more. Now, suppose a blockchain has three validators with different stakes. Okay. Now, each validator in that particular network will have a stake of their own. So we have three validators, validator A, B, and C. Each validator has its own stake. 60 stake for validator A, 30 stake is being locked by validator B, and 10 ether is locked by validator C. Now, selection probability is that whichever has the maximum. Over here, you can see A has 60%. A has 60% stake, which is greater than B and C. So higher stake equals higher probability of being selected to validate the next block. Like this, the validator is being selected by the entire network. I hope this thing is clear to you all. Now, as I already told you, that Ethereum is a cryptocurrency which is basically using this proof of stake mechanism of consensus. Ethereum originally used proof of work, but in September 2022, it switched to the proof of stake consensus mechanism in an event called the merge. Okay. In Ethereum POS, a validator must stake at least 32 ethers to participate. This was the criteria which was made. At least 32 ether. If a validator is locking, then only that particular validator will be able to participate in the process. Validators have several responsibilities. Proposing new blocks, yes. Next, validating the blocks from the others. If a particular block is being developed by another validator, then validator's task is to validate that particular block only. Okay. Maintaining the network security is one of the tasks of validator. Rewards, as I said, that validator may receive rewards in ethers for successful proposal and validation of blocks. Annual yields vary based on the total network stake and validator performance. So this is not fixed, this varies as per the situation. So I hope this particular example is clear to you all. Now, let's have a look at the slashing mechanism. As I already said, that whichever validator is selected, if that validator is malicious, then in that case the stake of that particular validator which was locked will be penalized. Okay, so slashing means penalty applied to the validator's stake for malicious behavior. That means part of the staked cryptocurrency is destroyed as punishment. Like this it goes. So slashable offenses can be creating invalid blocks. Okay, if the validator is creating invalid blocks, then in that case that particular validator will be uh, given a penalty. Validation, signing two blocks at the same height, this also is one of the offense. Next, at attempting to manipulate consensus and extended downtime or unavailability. So these are all the things where the validator will be penalized and slashing will be done here. So slashing process is like this: malicious action, if it is detected, this will be detected by the network and the stake will be slashed. So the purpose is that it ensures the honest participation by making malicious behavior economically costly. So even the validator will think twice before doing an attack in this particular process, because at the end, if malicious behavior is detected, then in that case the stakes will be penalized. So I hope this thing is clear. Okay, the slashing mechanism is very important. Now let's have a look at the advantages of proof of stake algorithm. So it is energy efficient, as we have seen. It consumes 99% plus less energy than POW mechanism. No special hardware is required because no mining is happening over here. Here just the task of validation is being done by the validators. Vast It is faster in terms of processing, higher transaction throughput, and it is very much scalable. Better network scalability can be achieved over here. So I hope the advantages are clear to you all. Now, with advantages, disadvantages also come. So the disadvantages of proof of stake are as follows. First is wealth concentration. Users with large stake gain more control over the network. Okay, rich validators become richer through rewards. Yes, this is one of the drawback, that whichever validators has higher number of stakes will always win. Okay, and since it will win, it will create a block and will get a reward. So richer will become richer. Okay, the other ones will not get any chance to participate in the process. Newer technology, POW has longer real world testing and proven security. Yes, POS is still maturing in large scale deployments. Okay, so this is one of the drawback of it. Next is that centralization risk. If few validators dominate the stake, then the network becomes centralized. Yes, but our main motive of blockchain is to create a decentralized distributed environment. But if few validators dominate the stake, then in that case the centralized behavior will be seen. Staking pools may concentrate the power. So I hope the all the disadvantages of proof of stake is clear to you all. Now, let's have a look at a detailed comparison of both of these, POW and POS comparison. So, we have certain features, validation, energy use, and so on. So, let's respect to validation, proof of work uses mining mechanism, right? Proof of stake uses staking mechanism. When we talk about the energy consumption, in proof of work, the energy consumption is extremely high, where in proof of stake, it is extremely low. Talking about the hardware, POW uses ASIC or GPU machines, and proof of stake doesn't require any hardware. Examples of proof of work mechanisms is that Bitcoin cryptocurrency uses it. For proof of stake, Ethereum cryptocurrency uses it. Block creator. The block creator in the process of POW is miner, and the block creator in the proof of stake mechanism is validator. So I hope this thing is clear. Here are certain real blockchains in the market which uses POS. The very first is Ethereum. It is the largest POS network. Okay, now till date. Next is Cardano. Next is Polkadot, Solana, Avalanche. Okay, all this uses POS mechanism. So I hope these things are also clear. So this brings us to the end of the video. I hope the entire concept of POS mechanism with its example and all the limitations and advantages is clear to you all. If you guys have any single doubt, then you can straight away put it in the comment section. I'll be happy to solve it. For more such videos, do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Also hit the bell icon and don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Please join me on Telegram. Thanks for watching. Have a good day ahead.